Welcome back, friends. We are here studying the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we are doing lesson number 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. So we're going to learn a little different way to understand these words, home and stranger, as we go through this lesson. And I have a little reading from Ken Wapnick's teaching manual as well to help kind of bring all this together. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this teaching from Jesus today. Thanks for being here. All right, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear, and you will be a stranger to yourself, and thus you are unknown to you. What is yourself remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such a circumstance? Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not and judge against himself? There is a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth he speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him while he is alien now who is at home. And yet how easy it would be to say, this is my home, here I belong, and I will not leave because a madman says I must. What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you had asked a stranger in to take your place and let you be a stranger to yourself? No one would let himself be dispossessed so needlessly unless he thought there were another home more suited to his tastes. Who is the stranger? It is fear or you who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his Son. Is fear his own, created in his likeness? Is it fear that love completes and is completed by? There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If they are real, then fear must be an illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. How simply then the question is resolved. Who fears has but denied himself and said, I am the stranger here, and so I leave my home to one more like me than myself, and give him all I thought belonged to me. Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things but this, that he is not himself and that his home has been denied to him. That sounds pretty sad. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in, and took no alien thought to be itself. And it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own. Who is the stranger? Is he not the one yourself calls not? You are unable now to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. Yet is yourself as certain of its own as God is of his Son. He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his Son. God's certainty suffices. Whom he knows to be his Son belongs where he has set his Son forever. He has answered you who ask, who is the stranger? Hear his voice assure you, quietly and sure, that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator stranger made to you. Whom God has joined remain forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves. Yet, as they give him welcome, they remember. and he leads them gently home again where they belong. Not one does Christ forget. Not one he fails to give you to remember, that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you. But you will not remember him until you look on all he does. Who denies his brother in denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and his salvation come? I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. So there's a lot of symbology in this lesson, and I want to go ahead and read this little excerpt from Ken's teaching manual here, just in the beginning of this. I really like how it sets it up. Our theme now shifts as this lesson focuses on the mind's power to choose whether we will make our home in the ego's thought system of fear or the Holy Spirit's thought system of love. So the idea of home isn't like the structure around you, it's the mind. The Course teaches us everything is the mind. So you can be at home in either part of your mind. I love the fact that we can choose. However, what this lesson is stressing to us is that when we choose the ego's thought system as our home, then we become the stranger, because that's against our nature. And it's totally unnatural for us to really be submerged in that ego's thought system and projecting all the things out into the world and, getting the reflections back to us, making us feel different things and experience life at more of a lower vibrational frequency, the illusion, the dream that we're having, that we're creating, of course. So when we make our home the Holy Spirit's thought system, that feels more natural. And I believe what happens for us is there's just more of a flow. The way that time works, we start to understand that there's a spiral rather than a linear point A to point B. And there's so many other influences outside of the spiral that are helping us see how much we've progressed on our path to salvation in this lifetime. So the image that came to mind as I was going through this lesson was that we went to town earlier today, and there's a market today, Saturday, here in Salt Spring Island in Canada. Tina just came back from doing her retreats in Europe, and we had a really nice morning walking around down there. And I thought about the people that I see. Now, I don't actually know them. However, what I'm learning is no one is a stranger. So taking another symbolic look at what this lesson could mean is, we're basically, the entire planet of humans is our family. We are one human family, and you don't necessarily hang out with every single family member. You don't know everyone really well. There might be some people that you're kind of like, I don't really feel comfortable getting much closer to this individual. However, they are part of your family, and as such, we're connected to each other. We're all at home in a sense, because we're all individually in our minds wherever we are doing whatever we're doing. And there's just this more of a sense of safety that came over me as I thought of everyone as my family member, and a sense of my ability to want to find common ground with people and want to be more forgiving, just because I know that this individual is part of my family. There are no strangers in the area that I was walking around in today. So I think taking that out into the world of fear, basically, that we are experiencing, to start to feel at home, because your mind is connected to the Holy Spirit's thought system, and that goes with you wherever you are physically, whatever structure you happen to be dwelling in at the moment. Those things don't matter. The home is the mind connection to the creator of the universe, and your heart being the sort of the place where everything comes together, and your intuition, your guidance. I think it flows, the mind is part of it, but it flows through your heart. And when you really feel a sense of peace and safety, and that you're surrounded by love, that is, that's like soothing for you, and that's coming from the heart. So our home is in our mind, and fear is the stranger. And the more that we just study the lessons and bring ourselves naturally into the Holy Spirit's thought system, the less and less we're going to feel there are strangers outside of us, or that we are a stranger anywhere we go. Because the common ground thing, it goes both ways. We all are seeking that sense of belongingness and want to feel accepted at some level. So if you start that out in your own mind and you treat others in that way, that it will certainly, giving as receiving, it will certainly come back to you, and you'll begin to feel more belonging and more comfortable and more safe in your world. So enjoy that. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me on the video today, and I will see you back here again tomorrow.